Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Talks with Tina, where we are pursuing our most true and authentic self by what? Uncovering our roots. Was that dramatic or what? Anywho, in the spirit of getting straight to the point, because let me tell you, I made this like 4 different times and I did not get to the point. Kind of how I'm doing right now, but I'm gonna get to the point. Anywho, in the spirit of getting straight to the point, today's topic is check your bags. And I'm not talking about, check your bags to see what you lost, what you left at home, what you should have packed. No. I'm talking about the big, when you taking your big old suitcase because you overpack and then you going on your ratchet trips where you gotta pack all your bottles and stuff in there. Y'all are not excused. Or you have the option of a carry-on. But I'm telling you to check your bags or see yourself as a check bag. And here's how we do it. This is how we're gonna full circle it. Here's how you apply it to your life. So when I think of a check bag, I think of how much it costs. Like, I'm not gonna go check that bag because it's gonna cost me $60 when I can do this carry-on, squeeze everything in there for the free ski, right? And then I know there's nothing that could go wrong because I got my carry-on bag and it didn't cost me nothing. So let's take a look into that. When you have a check bag, it costs you something. And when you look into your life, 9 times out of 10, when you make big leaps, when you take these new ventures, when you do something that puts you in the space of the unknown, it costs you something. And what I kind of want to hold tight on is we choose to do a carry-on over a check bag because there's some sort of comfort with that, right? Like, if the check bag, sometimes there might be issues. It might end up at the wrong destination. It might get a little crack in the wheel or something. They might damage it. They might mishandle it. And I think if you can think of a check bag as any form of your journey, it's never going to be pleasant. We're never going to have that absolute security that we have when we have our carry-on bag, because having a check bag, it holds more than we can carry. And then we place ourselves in that unknown, the unknown of what is going to happen once I leave my bag, right? And like I said, if you're thinking of a check bag as yourself in a journey, think of how many times, or if you haven't approached it yet, I kind of want to change your perspective on it, is see yourself as a check bag. Sometimes we're going to be mishandled, right? And that's how we venture off. Sometimes we're going to be a little damaged, but ultimately we're going to find ourselves, right? Sometimes our bag gets lost. We get lost. But then I think about not the what ifs. I think about that my bag sometimes is going to be perfectly fine. Even if it is mishandled, damaged, or lost, eventually it returns back to me. And if it doesn't return back to me, then I get something greater. Yeah, we heard of a voucher, right? A travel voucher. And if that bag does not return to me, then I get something greater. I get a new bag and I get a new flight. Yeah. No, but seriously, I think if you see yourself as a check bag, then carry-ons won't entice you anymore. That security. Like, I'm such an advocate of walking into the unknown now. Like, I've done a video called Walk into the Unknown, and it's basically, if your outcome is greater than your expectations, would you still walk into the unknown? Because sometimes there's a limit with our expectations. We expect something to go a certain way, but if we release all of that and just simply walk into the unknown, walk into not having that sort of promise, but if our outcome is greater than our expectations, would you still trust to go through that? And I think that's literally what checking your bags is. I'm believing in myself that this holds more than I can carry. And even though this holds more than I can carry, I know that eventually, if it doesn't return to me, I will get greater. So if I don't return the same way I left, or I get lost somehow, that there's greater to come after that. It can't be anything less than that, because they don't just say, oh, you lost your luggage, the end. No, they're going to fix it. They're going to reimburse it, or they're going to try to find it. You do the same. If you get lost, damaged, cut, bruised, there's always greater. If it gets lost on their end, they're going to replace it. If you get lost on your end, you have to find yourself. If you get damaged on that end, they replace it or they pay for it. If you get damaged on your end, you fix it or you replace it. You don't stick with the damage. And I think sometimes we get so caught on this carry on mindset. Carry on is because we can carry on being complacent. We can carry on being comfortable, that we sacrifice literally stepping into the unknown, into a greater promise. It holds more than we can carry. Our carry on hold our check bag holds more than we can carry. There's a promise greater than what I can carry by myself attached to my check bags. And for me, I'm about to start seeing myself as a check bag. You know what? If I go on my next trip, I just might check my bag just because of this video, because maybe I could pack more in my check bag than I do on my carry-on. I'm gonna let go of that comfortability of being so held tight and visible to my comfortable and my now, that I lose the opportunity to carry more than I can hold myself. I don't know if that made sense to you all, but I think if you literally check your bags, check yourself, see yourself greater than what you can just hold. Even if there's the unknown, know that your promise is greater than the unknown, because no matter what, if anything happens, it's either going to come to you just as you sent it, or it's going to come back greater. It doesn't get worse. It doesn't get worse. What's broken will get replaced. What's lost will get replaced. And you need to think about the same in your life. What's broken needs to be replaced. What's lost will be replaced. And it has to be greater, because I say it's greater. It's greater because I'm searching for greater. It's greater because I'm going to upgrade to greater. And I think that's the chat, folks. Are you a check bag, or are you going to continue to be a carry-on? Hold so tight to your comfort that you won't even dare to pack more than what you need. Hey, that's just because there's a fee. It's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you something to see yourself greater than your carry-on. It's going to cost you greater. It's going to cost you to hold more than you can carry more than you can hold. Either one, it's the same thing. Start seeing yourself. I'm telling y'all, folks, when you start seeing yourself greater than where you are now, you are not stuck. You are not bound to your comfort. You're not bound to the environments you're in. You don't have to carry it with you everywhere you go. Check that bag. And if it does not return to you, guess what? Greater is coming. If it is broken, you can fix it. If it gets lost, you can find something else. And I think that's the chat, folks.